Hi guys, my name's Elise. I have decided to do a little blog about my IVF journey and how I got to the point that I'm at. Let me give you a little background about myself. I am 25 years old. I'll be 26 in February. I was married in June of 2011 to my husband, who will be 30 in March. We've been trying to have a healthy pregnancy since we got married. We've been together just about 10 years, so we are ready for a child. So, about our trying to get pregnant issue, we started trying right after we got married and found out we were pregnant 6 months after. Took a pregnancy test, it was positive, went into the doctor to confirm, and she said, yep, you're pregnant. You're probably right around 6.5, 7 weeks, so right around 8 weeks you'll go in for an ultrasound and with your OBGYN, because I had gone to my general practitioner, and we'll look for heartbeat. So I went in 8 weeks, and sure enough, there was this little bean kicking around and a nice, strong heartbeat. So we were released. We were told, we'll come back at our 12-week ultrasound, and yeah. So about a week and a half later, I was getting ready to leave the house and noticed that I was spotting a little bit. I called the doctor's office, and the nurse said, well, if you want, you can come in for an ultrasound and we'll give you a little peace of mind. So I went over and waited for my husband to come meet me there. We saw a doctor that we had never seen before. It was just another doctor that was part of the group. And right away, he's like, what's your name? What are you here for? And lay down. It was like, boom, boom, boom. So I laid down, and he did the ultrasound, and we all were looking at the screen, and nothing was moving. And I thought, oh, he's just gotta put that monitor on. That's why this baby's not wiggling around. Because the first time it was all over the place. And he just looked at us and said, yeah, there's no heartbeat anymore. There's no fetal activity. Sorry about that. I'm like, what do you mean there's no fetal activity? He's like, yeah, you've had a miscarriage. This kind of stuff happens all the time. You're going to go down the hall to the coordinator. She'll schedule your DNC, and that's it. You can stay in the room as long as you need to. And left, and that was it. And I was sobbing. My husband was crying uncontrollably. We didn't know what the hell to do. It was like, here's these two young kids. I've never even heard of a miscarriage. And already I got to walk into a room right after I find out my baby died and go schedule some surgery. I didn't know what a DNC was. I didn't know what any of that meant. So he pretty much told me this kind of stuff happens all the time. Get over it. Well, I had some complications after that DNC. I bled a lot, and I was very sick. And I was not treated the way I should have been treated. So, needless to say, I switched doctors. And got pregnant a few months later, naturally. I lost that one at about 7.5 weeks. Originally, they thought it was a blighted ovum. I bled, went in for an ultrasound to make sure I passed everything, and lo and behold, there was a heartbeat. So it was like this miracle baby. Sorry, my dogs are growling. It was this miracle baby, and the heartbeat never progressed. It was never as strong as it should have been. It slowly dwindled down. It was like an inevitable miscarriage. We were just waiting for the heart to stop beating. Another horrible experience. After that, about 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant again. This time there was no ultrasound. I didn't get far enough along to even see anything on an ultrasound. It was, I don't know. I got maybe like 5.5 weeks, and then my hormone levels started dropping, and we knew that it was going to be another miscarriage, and I started bleeding. So after that third one, my doctor said, now your insurance will allow you to go see a specialist. So I went to a reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Reinhardt at RMI, amazing doctor, the Reproductive Medicine Institute. And I have been with him since last November. It was a year this November, 2013. He did a bunch of blood work, and the only thing that they could pinpoint was that it could possibly be an autoimmune issue. I have slightly elevated natural killer cells, and the uterus looked fine. Everything looked good except for that. So he said, well, we know you can get pregnant, so we're going to put you on some prednisone, some baby aspirin, and we're going to see if this works. So I tried for probably like 2 or 3 months, and I kept bleeding all month. Spotting here, spotting there, and I kept going in and saying, something's not right. And he's like, we're going to check and make sure that you're ovulating. So, by the way, after that third miscarriage, they had thought that it was an ectopic pregnancy because the specialist was looking at my hormone levels and was like, they should be dropping a little bit quicker, after you lost that pregnancy. Go in for an ultrasound. I went in and they found something in my tube, so they gave me the methotrexate shot. After that shot, I stopped ovulating. So whatever, if there's a correlation, there's a correlation, I don't know. But I stopped ovulating, so it's a new issue now. So they put me on Clomid, and I ended up having 2 chemical pregnancies with the Clomid. And for those of you that don't know what a chemical pregnancy is, it's pretty much that the embryo does not completely implant, and I lost pretty much the embryo when I would have normally gotten my period, or a few days after. So that didn't work. They only do 3 rounds of Clomid, because if you're not successful after 3, chances are that you're not going to be successful with any more. So we moved on to IVF. We looked at it as like, great, this is the end of the road. This is our last chance. We've made it to this point because things suck and we're never going to have a baby. And now we've gotten to this point. My doctor changed my mind about it, and he's like, if there's something wrong with the egg quality or the way the sperm's meeting the egg, we're going to know with IVF. So we were a little more optimistic going into it. So we did our stim meds in August, September, and we did the egg retrieval in September. And we got 29 eggs, 21 fertilized, and 19 made it to freeze. So we were through the roof excited. This has been a very difficult road, very taxing on our relationship, and we needed a little bit of good news. We needed something positive to happen, and to have 19 embryos make it to freeze was phenomenal. So we are very excited. We're looking forward to doing our transfer. We've decided to do 2 embryos, to transfer 2 embryos. It's scheduled for December 12th, which is like right around the corner. It's a week away. It was originally scheduled for Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, and they overbooked and pushed it back to December 12th, which I was okay with because my dad passed away when I was 11, and that happens to be his birthday. So it was a good omen for me. It was like a sign that he was here with me throughout this process. But I do have to say that I have had a very negative outlook because it's been one punch after another with this. It's like, we have this terrible news for you, and we're gonna let you know that you're not ovulating anymore either, so you can't get pregnant on your own. It was like bad news after bad news after bad news, and then we got this unbelievable success with the egg retrieval and the amount of embryos we got. And now we are just keeping our fingers crossed and praying that we get the success with these embryos and that they stick and we get 1 or 2 beautiful babies. I would love to have 2 as long as they were, healthy and I could carry them. And yeah, I know that it may not work, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. We're gonna keep pushing forward because that's what you have to do. You can't give up. And I will try for this until I can't try anymore, until they tell me you're done. And even if I'm done with them, I'm gonna try on my own because it has to work. Something's gotta give. Something has to give. So, yeah, we're psyched. We are trying to just stay positive and hope for the best. We find out on Christmas Eve whether it works or not, which I'm kind of bummed about because that's going to be tough to find out around the holidays. Because if it's positive, I'm going to be a nervous wreck. Am I going to bleed? Is this going to happen? And if it's negative, I'm going to, be bummed out like I usually am through the holidays. Well, I guess it doesn't matter then because, whatever. But yeah, so I will keep you all posted and let you know what happens, how things turn out, if we get pregnant, if it's 1 or 2, and if it doesn't work, we're going from there. But we have 19 beautiful snow babies on ice, and we are going to fight the good fight and keep the faith. So stay tuned, and I will let you know how things go after the transfer.